little dreamers, and welcome to our cozy corner. Snuggle up in your warm beds, close your eyes, and get ready for a wonderful story. Tonight, we're going on an adventure back in time, to a sunny place with rolling hills and sparkling water, to hear about a very special friend named Jesus. One bright morning, Jesus was walking by a beautiful, big lake called the Sea of Galilee. The sun was dancing on the water, and many people were gathering all around him. They loved to listen to Jesus because his words were like warm hugs for their hearts. Soon, there were so many people that it got a little crowded on the shore. Jesus saw two empty boats bobbing gently by the water's edge. One of the boats belonged to a fisherman named Simon Peter. Jesus stepped into Simon's boat and asked him to push it out just a little way from the land. That way, everyone could see and hear him clearly. From the boat, floating on the calm water, Jesus taught the people about God's amazing love. He told them how much God cares for every single person, just like a shepherd cares for every one of his sheep. After he finished speaking, Jesus turned to Simon. Simon and his friends had been fishing all night long, but they hadn't caught a single fish, not even a tiny one. They were tired and a little bit sad. Jesus smiled at Simon and said, "Sail out into the deep water and let down your nets." Simon was surprised. He said, "Master, we've worked hard all night and haven't caught anything, but because you say so, I will let down the nets." So, Simon and his friends rowed the boat out to the deeper part of the lake. They took their big, empty nets and tossed them into the water. And then, something incredible happened. The nets suddenly became so full of fish that they started to tear. There were silver fish, shiny fish, big fish, and small fish, all wiggling and splashing. There were so many that Simon had to call for his friends in the other boat to come and help. They came over quickly, and together, they filled both boats with fish. The boats were so full, they almost began to sink. Simon Peter was amazed. He had never seen anything like it. He knew that this was more than just good luck. It was a miracle. He looked at Jesus with wide, wondering eyes. Jesus looked back at Simon with a kind and gentle smile. He said, "Don't be afraid. From now on, you will fish for people." He meant that Simon would help bring people to learn about God's love, just like he had brought in all those fish. From that day on, Simon Peter and his friends, James and John, left their boats and followed Jesus, becoming his helpers and best friends. They went on many more adventures, sharing kindness and love wherever they went. Another time, a huge crowd of people, more than 5,000, followed Jesus to a quiet mountainside. They listened to his stories all day long, and soon, their tummies started to rumble. It was getting late, and there was no food anywhere nearby. Jesus' friends, his disciples, came to him and said, "It's late, and this is a remote place. Send the people away so they can go to the villages and buy themselves something to eat." But Jesus had a different idea. He looked at the big crowd with love and compassion. He turned to his friends and asked, "What food do you have?" They looked around and found a young boy who was willing to share his lunch. All he had was 5 small barley loaves like little bread rolls and 2 small fish. His friends thought, "How can this little bit of food feed so many people?" But they trusted Jesus. Jesus took the 5 loaves and the 2 fish. He looked up to heaven and gave thanks to God. Then, he broke the bread and the fish into pieces and gave them to his disciples to pass out to the hungry crowd. And then, another miracle happened. As the disciples handed out the food, it never ran out. Everyone ate as much as they wanted. Big people, little people, moms, dads, and children, everyone had a full tummy. There was enough for all 5,000 people, and not just enough. There was more than enough. When everyone had finished eating, Jesus told his disciples, "Gather the pieces that are left over. Let nothing be wasted." They went around with baskets and collected all the leftovers. Can you guess how much was left? They filled 12 whole baskets with the pieces of bread and fish that were left over from the little boy's lunch. Everyone was filled with wonder. They saw that with Jesus, a little bit of sharing and a lot of love can do amazing things. The little boy who shared his small lunch helped Jesus perform a great miracle and feed a whole city of people. It shows us that even when we think we don't have much to give, sharing what we have can make a huge difference. These stories teach us that Jesus is full of love and power. He can do wonderful things, and he loves to help people. He cared about the tired fishermen and the hungry families, and he cares about you, too. He is with you when you're happy, and he's with you when you're sad. He's with you when you're playing, and he's with you now, as you get ready to sleep. So, as you drift off to dreamland, remember the wonderful stories of Jesus. Remember the boats filled with fish and the baskets filled with bread. Remember his kindness and his love. Let these happy thoughts fill your heart like a warm, cozy blanket. Know that you are loved, you are special, and you are watched over. May you have the sweetest dreams, full of peace and joy. Sleep tight, little one. God is with you, and he loves you very, very much. Good night.